Hi, this is Craig, and this is another mindfulness podcast. The theme for this one is open heart intentions, which I talk about, in previous episodes, but this kind of follows on from the kindness podcast in this series. And in that kindness podcast, I mentioned that we are inherently kind and we have a nature of kindness. We're wanting community and we're wanting to be able to help other people, just as we would like to receive help and community from others. So that's our nature. Um, During our life, we find that when we were younger, we had more heart than head decisions, if you like, more kind of open hearted kindness about things. And it was only until things happened in our life that kind of inhibit that kindness from showing. Maybe we did something genuinely as a sign of affection and it got rebuked, or you got told off, or something would have inhibited that kindness, that innocence from showing. And so as our life goes on, we find that we rely more on our mind, our head, which is basically a knowledge base for our past, and all the things that have happened in our past is stored in our mind. And so we learn in some ways to hide our kindness or hide our love of things, or because we're worried about what maybe other people will think, or worried that we'll get into trouble. And this happens more and more as we get older. So what this podcast is about mindfulness and is about noticing what our intentions are. Are we acting from a place of fear? Are we hiding? Are we doing intentions in order to keep ourselves safe? Or are we having other intentions that are about love, or about kindness, or about helping others? It's interesting to start to notice where we're at individually in our motivations in life. So people who are motivated solely by fear, or by security, if you like, they want certainty in their life, tend to have more selfish intentions, if you like. And selfishness is neither good nor bad, it's just something that we fall into. So certainly, as an example, if someone hasn't got a lot of money and is struggling financially, then of course they're going to be looking at saving pennies and looking at not spending a lot, and looking after themselves. So they're unlikely to, for example, give money to charities or causes. They're more likely to save money in the bank. And there's no harm with that, but I'm just here to highlight that that's from a place of security, a place of fear in the mind that if they don't do that, there's going to be some disaster later on. Maybe if they haven't saved enough, then what's going to happen when something happens? And so it becomes a safety net or a safety blanket to have that money in the bank. So that intention, you could say, is from a head place of trying to keep ourselves safe and secure. And of course, we need to do this from time to time to keep us surviving, especially in current society. But it's really good practice to start noticing how often we go to our head in order to keep ourselves safe, what it believes is going to keep ourselves safe. Because what the mind believes is based on our past. It's been programmed to remember everything that's happened to us. And that includes all the things that have happened badly for us or has made us struggle. And so the more struggle in a person's life, the more likely they are to be in their head plotting to keep themselves safe. And this could be putting up walls, putting up barriers, not helping others, just looking out for themselves. It can manifest in many, many ways. So the opposite side of this, there's a freedom in trusting the future, in trusting the uncertainty of tomorrow, and having more of an open heart. So open-heartedness is when you act from a place of kindness or a place of joy or a place of love. There's no conditions to what you're doing. It's kind of like, I'm doing this in order to help somebody, or in order to help myself, or give myself joy, or give others joy. I'm here to look after others. I'm here to see if I can, even just by being with somebody and offering my presence, maybe I can help with something. Can I be of service to something or someone? That's open-heartedness. You're not expecting a reward for doing this. You're not expecting anything. You're going through your days with the intentions of kind-heartedness, unconditional love. And that is incredibly difficult to attain, but the practice is to notice our intentions and to notice when we are acting from love or acting for our own self-interest. So that's the difference. The more heart that you do, the more being that you do, the more you meditate and the more you sit and you practice mindfulness, the more you accept what is, the more you don't need to have expectations of the future, the more you don't need to adjust somebody else's behavior or government's behavior or anybody's behavior. You're acting from your own place of kindness and love and gentleness, and there's more gratitude there. You're effectively going in the flow of the universe. You're feeling things as they come in each moment, and that could be some difficult emotions sometimes, but we're not running away from these things. We're just like, okay, right now I'm feeling this. It could be anxiety, it could be anger. Maybe you're seeing something on the news and it's making you angry, so there you are, anger is here. So you comfort that, you attend to the anger with kindness, with your open heart, with this unconditional love practice that I've been describing. And so you can heal your anger by sitting with it and breathing with it, not thinking about it, not blaming anything for the anger. The anger is here, so it's owning the anger. And so you sit and you transform your anger, and it changes into something else. It may give you an intention to do something different or do something better perhaps, or maybe something that's more kind than what you did previously. The heart is always there to kind of help you as well as others. So if you're giving yourself self-care, for example, then you're being kind to yourself, and that is an honourable intention. It's not selfish to be kind to yourself. We're giving ourselves energy, we're renewing ourselves, we're giving ourselves this unconditional love. Just imagine what we could do if we were giving unconditional love to everything, including our emotions, including our thoughts, including other people's emotions and other people's thoughts. A less judgmental attitude will bring increased gratitude and more awareness of our interconnectedness. The fact that when you put anger out, you get anger back. If you put kindness out, you'll get kindness back. But we're doing it in a non-ego way. We're not being kind in order to get brownie points. We're being kind because that's who we are. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a bit today. It's important, there's a few practices along with open heart, as well as noticing your intentions. Are you acting from a place of love or a place of fear? It's a good question to ask. And yes, there are times that we do need to act from the fear. That's not a problem. We just notice that we are. But we also notice when we're acting from love and noting the difference that makes us feel. And acting from your heart is never wrong. Sometimes people find it weird or they don't want you to act from your heart. But following your heart is a sign of creative joy. It's a sign that you're comfortable in your own being, your own presence. You will wear that fancy jumper for you because you feel good in it, not because you're going to show off, and not because you're wanting to spite somebody who you know is not going to like it. There's no anger or malice there. You're just wearing your jumper because that makes you feel amazing. That's a heart thing. So heart is related to joy and love. So when you practice joy, joy practices could be as simple as putting on some fancy clothing that you like, having a cup of tea, meditating. These are joy practices. You're reclaiming your kindness, your open-heartedness. You find that you become more gentle in life. You become less judgmental, less angry, less annoyed. You see things as part of the whole. You're seeing more wonder and awe. You're noticing interconnected truths. And I'll talk more about that in the next podcast. But you're kind of following your emotional feelings. You know, your heart is giving you signals. It's very intelligent. So it's good to tune into your emotions. You know, what is this making me feel like? You know, is this intention making me feel guilty? Is this motivation making me feel a bit ashamed of myself? Or is this motivation or this intention making me feel good about myself, making me feel joyful, making me more peaceful? These are good things to tune into. So see if you can tune into your emotions because they are telling you the direction to go. And taking yourself out and noticing interconnectedness is another great practice in itself. I do mindful walks and I notice things interconnected. You know, I notice leaves, for example, falling from trees, and I know that that will go into soil and it will nourish and give energy back to the tree for the following spring. There's all these little transformations where you look. You'll notice clouds turning into rain, rain also feeding the soil. We're looking for these interconnected truths. And doing that is actually taking you away from your mind and from yourself and from your ego. And you're looking at all the transformations that are going on around you, the impermanence of things, the interconnectedness of things. We're all dependent on other things in order to exist. So when we start getting upset or angry at things, we kind of lose that truth where we've gone back into our mind and we're in an illusion of separation, if you like. It's like, I'm no happy because of this. So you separate yourself from the outside or whatever's happening, and you're not seeing that your energy is also connected to what's happening, and that energy can also affect the outcome of what you see. So when you see things outside, if you see synchronicities or reflections of how you feel, you're noticing what energy you're attracting or not into your life. And again, it's quite mindful to notice these things. So by this simple practice of noticing, just asking a question: is what I'm doing now unconditional or not? And just tune into that. You'll find after a while that you'll edge more towards unconditionalness and gentleness and peacefulness than you are doing things in order to just get your own way. So I hope that's been a helpful discussion. We'll just finish with the sound of the gong, and I invite you to breathe while you hear the sound. Just listen. Just give yourself a moment of peacefulness, just to tune into yourself and notice how you feel just now. Notice any thoughts, and just let them all be. Just send unconditional love and kindness to them all. And thank you very much for listening.